Lee Vogler was not a headline maker, but on July 30th, 2025, the Virginia councilman became the center of a national shock. He was doused in gasoline and set on fire in his own workplace. The flames that engulfed his body did more than burn his flesh. They revealed the strength, conviction, and humanity of a man who has quietly served his community since his early 20s. Born and raised in Danville, Virginia, Lee Vogler grew up in a middle-class home, the son of a school teacher and a factory worker. From an early age, he displayed an interest in civic life, joining youth councils, volunteering at food banks, and shadowing local officials. He graduated from Dan River High School and majored in communications at Virginia Tech, where he also took courses in public administration and leadership. After returning to his hometown, he worked a day job at a small nonprofit and began attending city council meetings. In 2013, at just 24 years old, he ran for an at-large council seat and won. Since then, Vogler was re-elected 3 times. On the council, he was known for his collaborative leadership style. He championed local education initiatives, revitalization of downtown Danville, and expansion of broadband access to underserved neighborhoods. He worked closely with business leaders, churches, and public schools, earning a reputation for listening more than lecturing. Vogler also served as a media executive. He founded a local digital news outlet and hosted a weekly public affairs show, helping residents stay informed and engaged. He married his college sweetheart, Sarah, and they had 2 sons. That afternoon in late July, Vogler was finishing paperwork at his office behind City Hall, preparing for a community meeting scheduled the next week. Around 3:15 p.m., police say the suspect, 29-year-old Shotsie Michael Buck Hayes, entered the office, asked to speak with Vogler, and started an argument. According to investigators, the motivations were personal, not political. Hayes allegedly held a grudge stemming from a dispute over personal property, not council decisions. Court documents show Hayes brought a gas can into the office, and in a horrific act, lit the councilman's body on fire. Vogler was trapped in agony, his clothes aflame, before colleagues pulled him to a water fountain and subdued the suspect. He was conscious, disoriented, and in excruciating pain as first responders arrived. He was rushed to Lynchburg's regional burn center, with emergency care crews continuing fluids and pain management en route. In the hospital, staff described him as critically injured but stable. He had 2nd-degree and 3rd-degree burns over 20% of his body, arms, chest, and neck. He was intubated but reportedly able to squeeze a nurse's hand, and later was lucid enough to identify his assailant to investigators. Authorities arrested Hayes on scene. He faces federal charges including attempted 1st-degree murder and aggravated malicious wounding. Danville leaders and state officials responded swiftly. The governor issued a statement calling for prayers and praising the local response team. The city council held a special session, and an emergency fund was created to support Vogler's medical costs and family during recovery. Public support poured in. Residents organized candlelight vigils, local churches offered meals to the Vogler family, and posters reading, "We Love Lee," covered storefronts. But amidst the crisis, the story remains Lee Vogler's. He is a man defined by service, not spectacle. Interviews with neighbors reveal that Vogler often visited seniors alone, volunteered at shelters, and coached youth sports, far from the political spotlight. His nonprofit news outlet helped highlight water quality issues and expanded tuition-free coding classes for low-income teens. Medical experts say his initial prognosis is cautious but hopeful. Survivors of this degree of burn injury often require multiple reconstructive surgeries, physical therapy, and months in rehabilitation. Vogler's doctors emphasize he's young, healthy, and mentally prepared for the long road ahead. In speaking to reporters through the hospital doorway, Vogler thanked first responders and pledged to return to full duty once healed. He said he forgives his attacker and hopes the community will continue working together, not tolerate fear. His calm presence reaffirmed why many had elected him in the first place. This incident raises difficult questions. How should society protect elected officials beyond security protocols? How do personal conflicts explode into violence? And how should communities safeguard small towns from such unthinkable acts? Ultimately, Lee Vogler's biography is shifting. It was once the story of a young civic leader rebuilding a town. Now it includes a test of resilience and recovery, a man forced to reckon with cruelty, yet choosing compassion. It's a story of how a councilman can move beyond ballots and budgets to become a symbol of hope, and even forgiveness. After months in the hospital and initial physical therapy, Vogler's family reports slow but steady progress. His young sons have visited, and while he cannot speak fully yet, he can smile and communicate. Community efforts have turned into long-term support networks, meals delivered weekly, crowd-funded college savings for his kids, and local artists painting murals visible from the hospital's burn unit window. Ultimately, Vogler's story speaks not only to personal courage, but to collective strength. In the face of unspeakable violence, the community's response rallied around his core values: service, unity, and forgiveness. The attack was personal, but its ripples are public, and Vogler's survival is a testament to rising beyond bitterness. His next chapter will include reconstructive surgeries, public reflection, and, he says, a return home and return to work. Not because politics demands it, but because his service demands it. Local organizers pledged to continue his education and broadband programs in his absence. His council seat will be filled temporarily, but Vogler's platform will endure. Lee Vogler's life is no longer just public service. It's history in motion. He was a quiet public servant until the world watched violence ignite at his door. But in the flames, something else shone. A public servant who chose redemption over revenge. As court dates are scheduled and medical updates slowly emerge, one thing remains clear. Vogler is still here, not weakened, but willfully enduring. And his story is no longer about what happened to him, but what he chooses to become next.